Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live. I am Kara Zor-El, the last daughter of Krypton. I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit about Final Crisis, timelines, as well as different versions of superheroes that may exist. I must apologize. I was supposed to kick off superhero school yesterday on Sunday, but I do have all of the orientation stuff up there for if you guys want to check that out on my link tree. But today we are going to do a conclusion reading to Final Crisis. Oh, reminder. Hi, James. Thank you so much. I am Supergirl Classic. I'm in my little garden of protection right now. I'm like my Earth Angel version of Supergirl. Very excited for the new movie with Millie that's coming out. Oh my gosh. Is it Millie? I'm getting her confused with like the 11 girl. Hi, Gwen Stacy. How are you, my beautiful babe? So I have full disclosure. We are going to finish this read, Final Crisis. Before we get started in this, I'm going to read you guys the conclusion because the conclusion, I think, is something that we could all use. How is Zari? She's doing wonderful. You know, did you know the Kryptonians do like engineering at like the age of like 10 and stuff? I have a little comic book with Batgirl and Supergirl where they talk about that. Your fave Laura. Hi, Lovey. Hi, Lovey to you too, babes. Superman. Hello, cousin Cal. How's it going? How's saving the world going? It's pretty tough out there for superheroes these days. I have my books around me in terms of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Okay. Oh, I know. You know time. So I'm going to first start with some full disclosure with you guys. So these last few days have been like extraordinarily tough emotionally for me. I think I wrote a blog post about how today is Blue Monday, which I mean, whenever you look back at these things, they always end up being like some sort of marketing shtick. But, you know, there's always like a truth in some sort of way that human beings express things that get out in the consciousness, right? Whether or not we deem them good or bad, let's say. But this concept of Blue Monday is that it's the, oh, hi, John McNary. Thank you. Welcome to the live. I'm Supergirl, Kara Zor-El, representing Krypton, you guys, all you aliens out there. I see you, you starseeds. It's all about becoming who you are. And where was I going with this? Supergirl, Krypton. Oh, yes. I wanted to come clean with you guys and talk about my childhood. So I think I've been going through this period of like putting on my Barbara Gordon hat. I actually have a brand new Batgirl cosplay that I can't wait to show you guys of like old school Barbara Gordon, like purple with like motorcycle and cowl, like just like a different version of Babs. And I really love her because, you know, she went from being like completely paralyzed and still like kicks ass as Oracle, right? And so I really appreciate that character type, that resilience, because my own childhood was quite traumatic. And I've been talking a lot with my little sister because she and I are really tight, super close. She's so strong. So I used to compete in like fitness and working out in the gym. And a big reason why I started working out and training at the gym is because I just wanted to be strong. Because when I was little, as a little girl, my mom was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, right? So I took this little bit of information and I like tucked it away and I like ignored it, right? Because I was like, okay, because I think if you go through trauma as a child, part of you normalizes whatever you're going through because you only really have your household of experience to go through. Do cosplay Ultron as well, as I can cosplay a lot of characters, you guys. So I'm revamping my Ko-fi to be my cosplay hub home. And I just wanted to let you guys know that I have been having to sort through my own mental health crisis. And that's where reading Final Crisis has helped, because there's always a way out of what seems like a really dark time. I have lost a number of friends to suicide. I don't know if I can say that actually. It's so crazy how on these live streams we're not allowed to talk about it, but if we don't talk about it, then certain people feel a certain way and they feel so alone, and then they make a decision that's a short-term answer to what, it's a long-term, solution to what is like a short-term problem. If I'm saying that right. It's just this idea of like, I know what it's like to be in that really dark headspace and think certain things and like really just feel things with like your full body of experience, right? Like full empaths. And my sister is very logical. She is an Aries woman with her moon in Virgo. So I feel like if you guys have a moon sign that's in this like very like logical, well, I mean, my moon's in Gemini, right? So it's kind of like the way you look, the way you feel emotions is like writing it out or like talking it out or, parsing it through in your own memory of like life. Like, I don't know, how do you guys see your memories? Like when you look back at yourself at 10 years old, like what does that look like to you? Or do you have certain like, I call them cornerstone moments in your life that define like, I guess, that era of your time, right? So, like it's why we get, I wanted to show you guys this book. The big nerd I am. So anyways, you're familiar with Joseph Campbell. So when I was in high school, I went to an all-girls Catholic high school called St. Mary's Academy, taught by nuns and all that stuff. There's a lot of like when I look at like my school, I'm gonna go take some pictures. Like when I'm gonna be splitting my time between Toronto and Winnipeg over the next 2 years because I have a movie that I'm trying to film, which is going to be like a musical movie. And I would love to have you guys, if you're creators, part of it. I don't know how you guys don't realize how nerdy I truly am. It's just that I have been traumatized by having a mother who has had a mental illness. It's just why I relate a lot to Marilyn Monroe, because Marilyn, her father wasn't present, A, and then B, her mother had schizophrenia, right? And so, it went from this period of time where she had this relationship with her mother that was really like good, right? Her mom was her mom. And then like, the mental illness took a hold. And like, I don't think mental illness is well understood in our society. Like, for example, I would love it if I could have Britney Spears in my movie. Like, and I could pay Britney Spears, right? And like, have these ladies, like, I see all this beautiful talent that has been like scooped up by the machine of Hollywood and like used to like sell stupid crap to people and hurt people as they themselves are traumatized. So I have empathy for the whole thing because most people just want to feel beautiful, feel seen, live out their like the story you want to live out in this life and experience. It's your choice, right? And so when I was, you guys are really sweet. Thanks, Timmy. You're very sweet. Oh, Rob, yeah. Trauma-based mind control. That is a whole thing. I actually have an article about MK Ultra and a lot of experiments that were done out in Winnipeg, Manitoba, where I'm from. And I have a lot of crazy locked up memories that have come through in the last few days as like I basically sat and cried for like, I don't feel like hours. I don't know. I just felt everything. I don't know how to explain it, but like I can feel when people are in pain, and I understand what characters like Jean Grey and Supergirl must feel like when you feel people and you feel that people need you and you're like, okay, I don't know if I have much, but I have to do something. I can't just like let you hurt yourself, or I can't just let you like let yourself like hurt your like, and I just think there's just not enough compassion in our world where it's just like I'm not in it for me. And that's what being a hero is, right? Joseph Campbell talks about this. And I had a really wonderful English teacher in grade 11 at St. Mary's Academy named Mrs. Paderniak. And she had a love story with her husband. And the way she talked about stories was breathtaking. I was enamored. I already love English and was a big nerd anyways. So like, speaking about why these stories matter to us on a psychological level keyed something into me, because there's something more than mental illness going on, you guys. It's like there's a spiritual thing. There's like a war for your soul. There's this idea that like if you figure out that you are the divine creator being that you are, this game is over for the nefarious, evil, black goo guys, right? But like it's way, way more complicated than that. And I think there's certain stories like Final Crisis, written by Grant Morrison, and Alan Moore's stories about how we talk about these realms that are unseen or in the imagination realm. Yeah, now I lost my train of thought. Let me go back. I love my English teacher too. I had her for, oh yeah, yeah. I love great English teachers. And she ended up, I think in my sister's grade, because my sister also went to school. And my sister would always be like, oh my gosh, always refer to you as your little sister. But like, she loves it in a way. Let me see here. We share the same trauma. I'm just more emotional than she is. She's so like my dad. My dad is so logical and doesn't like, it's funny, right? When I went home for the holidays, my Uncle John from Australia, he's actually an engineer. He does things like wiring, electrical engineering. And my dad is just like, professor in computer science, his master's in mathematics. So they had like these weird jokes about physics and Archimedes and buoyancy. I was like, this is lame. But also at the same time, the fact that you know this is something, right? There's a way of like taking this intelligence power and using it and synthesizing it in such a way to solve the world's problems, right? Like instead of just going into retirement and all that kind of stuff, right? Because I'm gonna move back to Winnipeg and I'm gonna get my dad to like we need to build some modules out when it comes to literacy in computer science, because it's just a language, right? Tech has its own language, just like how comic books have their own language. There's a way of symbols being encoded and like different things in your subconscious being encoded. It's like how you have like dream interpretation, right? How, oh, if I dream that I'm like falling, that means something. Or if I dream about somebody and then the next day I see them, what does that mean? It can mean many things, right? Or now they're trying to erase history. Yeah, yes, definitely. Those who tell the stories rule the world, right? And this world is going through a process of regeneration, right? Where I love music as a way to talk about reality, right? How you have different dimensions and in Crisis. So I'm going to show you guys the comic books. We're going to get right into the read. I'm going off on like a complete tangent, but I do have a reason why I want to read you guys when I read you guys, because I've had a lot of healing come from visiting the stories and the worlds in comic books, right? Where like good always triumphs over evil, no matter how complicated the problem or how dark it gets. Like existence could be on the brink, but our heroes do always find a way, right? And the way Joseph Campbell puts it in terms of what makes a hero, I didn't talk about what I love most of what my English teacher said. It's the concept of the hero's journey, right? And we watched Star Wars, A New Hope. and we map the hero's journey through that, right? But that's not the only myth that exists in the human consciousness psyche, right? Let me see if I can read you. I think I clipped something I wanted to read you guys. No, this is not. I'm just going to read the beginning part. Because if you're not familiar with Joseph Campbell, it's just like he's a beautiful thinker. I just love the way he looks at things. Okay. Oh. This is not a good way of talking about it. I just have to go by my take on it then. But Campbell talks about the fact that we are in a state of becoming ourselves, right? And we only do that by which we get experiences in life. Like you have a story, and it's only after you live a certain amount of life that you can like look back or look above and be like, oh, wait a minute, I'm here now. And so there is so much more to this story. And there's so much more that has come before. And since I've been writing my book, where quite literally it's taken me, like I started this book when I was 14 in 1999, and I'm 40 now, right? And I'm only finishing the beginning of the book. I'm finished chapter 3 and chapter 2, but like going back to the beginning. And when we think about how Star Wars has also told its story, if we think about how, you know, anytime you have storylines that deal with time travel or dimension jumping, or like the DC universes, right? The what if universes, the like, if we adjust these parameters in time space, what do we get? What happens if we're in a dream space, or like, you know, the danger room, or these kinds of things where we suspend normal rules for like space and time for that game, right? But I think it's a matter of like people need to wake up a little bit more, be more lucid, take a bit more control of your role in it, right? You are going to be the hero that saves us, right? We need to all take responsibility for our worlds and not be a god that's like, oh, I made it and who cares? And I've been guilty of that. I've been guilty of a lot of like things that I've had to address in myself that have been hard to, right? And Grant Morrison actually said something really profound that I really liked, where he said that, you know, if you take all of these problems you have in your life, they become the villains of that story, and then you can create heroes that can solve this issue, right? Just like a comic book story or any kind of grand mythos or tale that you love, right? So as I was trying to get through I don't know, I felt it was like even like a strange psychosis, you guys. It was like I was so sad and depressed and just like, I don't know, you just can feel like the heaviness of everything, right? Because I've lost a lot of people. I've gone to a lot of funerals. I've had to be a pillar of strength as people cried in my arms, which I am happy to do, right? But it is a lot on a level, right? It's a lot of energy to do that, right? Just like how, you know, if you're a superhero, you need like recharge under the sun. You need my little solar lamps as Supergirl to recharge the little the batteries and stuff. I'm actually immortal. I'm from the future ancient time. I'm here to just let you guys know help is on its way, and it's coming through you, the portal within you, right? All the magic is within you guys. So without further ado, I'm going to start with introducing you like a little bit of a timeline jump. Do, 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 do. I got to figure out my own music for these kinds of segments that are like copyright free and custom. So if you're musicians out there, I have actually a few girlfriends of mine who are great singers. I want to bring together like harmonies and stuff. I sing, but I'm so shy to sing by myself. I sing better when I'm with other people, of harmonizing with other people. It's a fun little thing to do with each other, right? And so how fun would it be if we had some like cosplay musical theater? I feel like there'd be some fun. Like we could take some cool little like clips and it would just like they just these shorts and like it doesn't need to be anything serious, but like stuff like that. Like I can't tell you the amount of times that like my besties have sent me something really funny or like just do something funny because I'm just in like that depressed, crazy, like just in that mode, in that frequency. And you just laugh, right? Because like if I don't laugh, I'll just cry. So and you just maybe need that little shift in energy for you to get to the other side, for you to get the energy to do what it is you're doing again, right? And I think that's why important for you guys to like set time aside for yourself, set goals for yourself, right? Realize that like what you want in your heart of hearts, if it matches with the universe's goals, the universe will support your endeavor, right? So I think it helps to just write that down, say it to yourself, whatever, or like do art about it, talk to your friends about it. Make friends that you can talk about it, right? Because I think everyone deserves to have friendships where you get to talk about your hopes and dreams and then have friends being like, that's really cool. I think that your hopes and dreams can actually help support my hopes and dreams. And maybe if we like put those ideas together, we can make something that's fruitful for everybody. Yay. But that is way more complicated than we think, right? It's like being an orchestra. An orchestra in terms of conducting all these different instruments, right? To have it sound harmonious. Okay, so timeline jump, my friends, 1985. We have Crisis on Infinite Earths. Ooh, oh my goodness. I don't have my drink with me right now. I didn't have time to make it. I've been so behind on time. I've been trying to put together dances and it's just been taking me longer. I mean, I put together some moves and then I try it. I'm like, I don't like that. And then I do one and then I forget it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. So tomorrow I'm actually going to a heels class. I haven't gone to like a heels dance class in forever. And it's out a little bit, out of the way. So TBD, I might be teaching a class out there. It's got some beautiful studio space. So I might be doing a workshop and that will be online as well. But I'm talking to the owner tomorrow about like, little space there to do that. Also to film some stuff and also to get talent, of course, because I want to make a dance movie. If you guys remember the movies like Step Up or like You Got Served, Drumline, or like, what was that cheerleading movie? Oh my goodness, Bring It On. Yeah, Bring It On, right? The first few ones I didn't watch. Like they always kill it, you guys, right? Like first few versions of the movie, you're like, I love it. And the soundtrack is awesome. And then it goes beyond that. You're like, oh, why? Oh, it has been a while. Oh, Star X, thank you. Thank you. You've never watched any dancing movie, Gwen Stacy? Oh, well, I am a firm believer that everyone can dance. So, I'll tell you a heartwarming tale of dance for me before we begin our read of Final Crisis, but starting with 1985 Crisis in my own words as Kara Zor-El from this earth. If we are speaking from Grant Morrison's way of like the 52 universes, this is Earth 33. This is the Earth that like superheroes are made, right? So, but it doesn't have any real superheroes yet, right? So how do we anchor in that kind of energy signature in a world that has forgotten how to imagine, believe, create advancements in such a way that we have things that are magical, right? That like our ancestors would deem this quite magical, what we're doing right now, right? If you were to explain it to them. So, Oliver, hi. And Zach, wow. Let's see. Let me see here. I can dance after I've had a few drinks. Yeah, honestly though, there's a lot of healing to be had to dance it out. Like even if no one sees you, I do think that there's a lot to be. There's a definite therapy in having a mirror and having your own speaker or like earbuds, whatever, having your favorite playlist and just letting your body move in the mirror in ways that feel good to you. Because it's so funny. I was watching a few YouTube clips of like Hilary Duff, and sometimes the choreography just doesn't, it feels awkward. And I've definitely done choreography like this before where it's just like, hip hop, but like you can't quite catch the beat. So it just ends up looking like bad. I've definitely been in hip hop classes, like advanced hip hop classes. I have such a hard time picking up on that choreography. It's so intricate and you have to be like on it. And if you don't know the song either, it's just very difficult. But Hilary Duff, anyways, and Jennifer Lopez, I think her as well. There's like some of these awkward movements. And I think that there's something to be said of like matching choreography to song and movement, right? There is an art to it. That's why you have choreographers, right? And not every choreographer, just because they're a choreographer, is a good choreographer. Just like not every writer or doctor is just because you are one doesn't mean like you're the best one or the best fit for other things and the synthesis of all that. So I feel like there's a little bit of like stuff that's lost in translation when it comes to that. And when it comes to dance, to me, dance is like a language. It's like body language, right? It's like a difference of like me reading the comic book to you like this and then trying to show it to you, right? These are different ways of how we communicate. And these are other subtle things that go into it beyond me just reading the comic book. If I were to like put this in like a short description as to like what we're doing here right now. Right? So I've learned a lot about interpersonal relationships through comic books, through parsing through different aspects of myself in my head using comic books as a way to give them personification and form, right? It's like no different how the gods and goddesses, like Athena is supposed to represent wisdom, Zeus is lightning, and if we think of lightning, it's like the lightning bolt of inspiration, right? Did you guys know that Zeus plus Memory, the Titaness, who's, I forget, it's why Morpheus is god of sleep. But anyways, Memory and Zeus created the muses. And muses is where you get things like musicians and museums and all that kind of stuff. So all of you guys who are musicians or like in service to the goddesses of the arts, that's the way I kind of put it. Those of you who are working with that beautiful energies, you champions of the Earth Mother, that's the way I kind of look at it, because the Earth, the unseen realms, they cannot speak for themselves. They choose champions, right? Like the green in Swamp Thing, right? Like I have a read as well where Swamp Thing's baby, she grows up and she's awesome. Let me just look at what you guys are saying here. I'm going to start. Thank you guys for following. My sister has an amazing dancer on her dance. Oh, that's cool. But you yourself don't like dancing. What kind of dance did she do? So I did, I didn't know tell you guys my story. Oh, that's like off on a tangent. That's why I need like a bulletin board. I need like a producer here. All that kind of stuff. And Danny Moneyman, thanks again for the heart meme. Kronos, yes, Rostar X, you know your myth, baby. Okay. Where was I going with this? Oh, yes. How dance is important. And I'm going to tell you guys a story about little Rachel. And I'm going to leave you guys with a little comment of take back full custody of your inner child, right? Your child, because time is not linear, things are always happening, right? So if that's true, then you at 8 years old and at 15 and at 20 is always happening. So all the painful stuff, yes, is happening all the time, but guess what? All the good stuff is too, right? So it's just our ways of like maybe developing some cognitive resilience and ways like techniques of us being able to access like higher frequencies in it, because I know how hard it is to like break out of like just it feels like a mind prison of some sort where you're just like I have no energy, can't do what I need to do. I have to do all this other stuff. I'm dealing with the fact that like my cat died and my uncle's passing away and like this other person's sick and I can feel everyone's like grief. And so like what do I have to do? Like I'm feeling all of this and yet I still have to like go out and like do my job or like drive to work, commute. Like it's just like all of that craziness. It how could you not have a society of people that develop like just cognitive dissonance or this concept of like for that show that Ben Stiller produced where you Severance where you have like the work persona and then like that home persona. It's like you have a clone. So I think all of these kinds of stories are ways of less like looking at like the human psyche in such a way of like, okay, we have these aspects of us, but we're also the whole universe. And I really loved how like Joseph Campbell put it, how when we look at myth, it's he told us. I'm going to tell you guys a story that I just read from that book, and I can't find it again, so I'm going to have to do it off the top of my head. And Joseph, I hope I do this right, because he passed away in 1987. Was a great teacher. Hero's Myth, Hero's Journey. I forget the exact book that he wrote, but brilliant storyteller. We stand on the shoulders of giants that we have people like that who were teachers. So he tells a story that was in a book where there's this cliff in Hawaii. I don't know if any of you guys go hiking or anything like that, but like there's these certain places that like I've gone hiking and you go up to these certain like peaks and stuff and it's like quite scary. I'm not afraid of heights, but sometimes I get kind of like, whew, if you were like just trip because I'm clumsy and just like fall, like you're gone until so I'm like better learn how to fly before tackling some of this higher stuff without equipment, right? Safety first before you develop superpowers. Get used to like what it's like up there. But he talks about how there's like this peak in Hawaii, right? And this peak in Hawaii is a place where people go to get blow their hair out, but also a place where people, how should I talk about this in code? They off themselves. They just, leave this dimension. And so he tells a story about how two cops are on patrol and they're driving and they see this man about to jump off this cliff in Hawaii, right? And one of the cops like runs to grab the guy who's about to fall, and like he himself also falls with him. But because the other cop's there, he grabs both of them and then saves all three. So, whew, thank goodness. But in that moment, that cop number, like that first guy who grabbed the guy who was about to jump, they asked him, like, you have a wife, you have kids, you were about to, like, you were about to die. And then you just, like, you just did it. Like, you just grabbed it. And how would he put it? He said that I had to do it because if I didn't do it, I couldn't live with myself. I couldn't live with myself letting that boy do that. Right? And so that's like a freaking hero, right? That kind of, those kinds of stories where you enact an act of great courage, right? That is what it means to be a hero, as opposed to it being like how many followers you have on social media or clout or attention you get. It's just, these small acts of bravery and heroism and kindness that in the grand cosmic scoreboard of life truly does matter, right? So with that, let's get into crisis, because I've been dealing with my own mental crisis. And so we're coming on. I've been traumatized when I see cops and say, oh, of course, go ahead, Stacey. Like, I think it's also important to practice discernment, right? Just because people wear a certain label doesn't necessarily make them good, right? You have Superman of like the crime syndicate and stuff, right? There's like evil Superman as well, right? And also cops. If you talk to Barbara and the Bat family, they're not really usually a fan of cops. Like, even though Barbara's dad is Commissioner Gordon. Like, when Batgirl goes into like, when I play Gotham Knights and Batgirl's trying to go into like the precinct to get like evidence and stuff, they're like shooting at me and stuff. I'm like, listen, I'm here to help. But you're a vigilante, right? So you're doing things outside the parameters of the law, but you're working on another kind of moral code, which I think, like Batman, when it comes to the Justice League, is like that element of, like Grant Morrison calls Batman Pluto, which is like Hades, like Lord of the Underworld. And I think there is some truth to that because you can have multiple rulers of the underworld and they're not all necessarily evil. You can have like heroic, shadowy figures as well, because I love myself a bad boy as well. So so in 1985, Barry the Flash and Supergirl, uh, she's called Linda Lee in this actually. They both sacrificed themselves to save the multiverse. Now, Marv Wolfman and George Perez, who are also the creators of Teen Titans and Nightwing, which is kind of cool. Like Dick Grayson as Robin, like the first Robin, was created by like another team, but Dick Grayson as Nightwing was created by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. And I think there is a comic book that exists where like Nightwing talks to his creators, which like I love. I love all that kind of stuff because it's like the meta way of like how this creation thing kind of works. But Marv Wolfman has a nice foreword here where he talks about how before 1985, when you talk about the DC universe, each character like Wonder Woman and Superman and Batman, they kind of lived in their own realms, and people with those characters had such varied different universes based on them, right? And it wasn't really organized, right? It was just kind of like whatever. And so if you wanted to introduce someone to comic books, where do you begin, right? Like some of you guys have asked me for recommendations, and some of you have gotten Supergirl, and some of you guys have gotten Promethea, and I'm like so happy you guys have gotten introduced to stories out of the blue and are now introduced to a whole new world and universe. And I call them like psychic tools, intellectual tools, archetypal tools that you can use in your own psyche to like work through very difficult emotional, psychosocial stuff. Like it's hard to talk about, right? We don't have things in science to talk about the woo-woo stuff, right? What it means if you can like have clairvoyance or forward view vision or feel things or like be deeply empathetic or compassionate or that kind of stuff. So Crisis is about like it all being synthesized into one Earth. It's important you guys know about that in the great scheme of things, because after this Crisis, it's known as like Crisis is what brings together all the different character types in order to solve a problem. So it's like this big collaboration that's necessary in order to like save not just one universe, but multiple universes existence. So the stakes are like uber high, right? Because you have these superheroes that are uber powerful, right? And so you need to have a quest that is worthy of such, beings, right? So that's why you have these villains that do exist. And you may feel in your life as well, if you walk a certain pathway, that your light, stimulates, makes demons upset, and they like come at you and stuff. And so it's kind of just important to note to like keep doing your thing and realize like there will be always challenges along the way, and there are friends and safe houses and a little like checkpoint. You are here like on the way of the game of life. And I love video games for the metaphor that they provide to life itself. Like this idea of when you play, like when I play Xbox, my gamer tag is Sailor Cosmos 3535, right? so I use that gamer tag in order to play Halo, right? But at the end of the game, or not even at the end of the game, I'm like, pause. I'm like, oh, I need to get a snack. I can leave that persona, but I'm the energy piloting Master Chief at that time, right? And so we get conflated with like just like the energy that we are right now in this time space with like who we are all like in the grand scheme of things. And I think it's just like, oh, Wolfie came into the room. That's him telling me like into the read. Hi, bud. You want to say hi? I didn't close the door right. Come here. Come here. Oh, sweetheart, I have a new crypto outfit being made for you. Do you want to say hello to the friends? Hello, everyone. This is Crypto, also known as Wolfie. Hello. Nice to see you. Also a dream watcher. Yes, I know. Do you want me to leave you now? Okay. Okay, put you in your bed. I'm gonna just close this. All right. That's a signal to get it on, my friends. Hell yes. So Crypto's gonna go take some sleeps. Fun fact though, before we get into it, Supergirl's creator, one of them is Otto Binder. Yes, and he is also the creator of Crypto. So it's important to note that the creator of Superman, which is the team of Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel, they're not the same creators as Supergirl and Crypto. And Otto's also the creator of Brainiac and Bizarro and Mary Marvel. And I'm missing someone else. But he's very sci-fi in nature, right? And I mean, sometimes people forget that, like, if we think about it, Kryptonians are aliens, right? So it is contact with aliens and also having a protector from another universe, right? And like, what is like the true connection between Krypton and Earth, right? And Earth's much more important in the grander cosmos than we have been allowed to kind of believe, right? Or been allowed to remember all at once. Because, you know, you wouldn't have a story if everyone was just overpowered and we can just solve everything just like that. It's why I like puzzles. So I like video games, right? It's to stretch that mental muscle to solve a problem, because part of crisis is not just the amount of strength you gather, but it's also the amount of minds you get together to be like, okay, how are we going to do this, right? So Grant Morrison has also written this, which is Multiversity. I had pages fall out of this. This was initially my sister's book when she used to be my neighbor across the street. And I ended up, she's like, you'll really like this because you're into like the weird, like multi-dimensional stuff. So you'll really like this. So I read it. I was like, yes, I really love it. Because in it, they do have the Marvels, right? Like, I mean, these Marvels, like Shazam. And so I'm actually working on her cosplay. So stay tuned for Mary Marvel. Yeah. They always make her evil in a lot of the anime, like Black Mary and that kind of stuff. I can see why, but I do relate to her as a character a lot. But Grant does this nice thing of being able to categorize all of the worlds in this orrery of worlds, right? So like you have all the different universes kind of like different bubbles across each other, right? Just like that. So this is all like these events, as well as like identity crisis, right? These all take place before this, the final crisis, right? So it's like all of these. How do you raise the stakes from like, oh my gosh, the multiverse is no longer going to exist? There's a scene, I highly recommend you guys, if you're not into reading comics, but you like animated stuff, there is Crisis on Infinite Earths, the animated version, which came out in 2000. and 24, I think. Jensen Ackles, who I had the biggest crush on for forever. I think he voices Batman from Earth, one of the Earths where he's like, doesn't take, he like leaves Dick Grayson at like an orphanage. He doesn't take him home. It's like that version of Batman. And then he meets Helena Wayne, who is of course like Catwoman and Batman's daughter from another timeline. And so it's fun seeing like the different interactions of those heroes. But in that world, Brainiac 5, there's this heartbreaking scene where he's being wiped from existence because of the fucking, the anti-monitor. Sorry, I almost swore. So I was like, don't swear in front of Superman. Okay. Thanks, Dean Thorny. Okay, without further ado, I'm just gonna like jump in. I hope this doesn't get too dark for you guys. Donna. Because Batman leaves this realm. But I try to like come to pages where Supergirl is. Black Canary does. I'm gonna show you guys the pages actually as I'm flipping through. But I want to get to, I should have, oh no. Oh, Sammy, thank you. Thank you for that. New Heaven, New Earth. So maybe I'll read this. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll read that. New Heaven, New Earth. Really funny story about connections between things, right? Like how, so I have this belief, you guys, you can take it, you don't have to take it. You don't have to take anything into your universe, right? But let's say, oh, Sam J, thank you, appreciate it. So let's play pretend, my friends. And your life is like all real, right? Or you're in a process of remembering or becoming who you are, right? And so before you jumped into this existence, you kind of like, all right, I'm going to come down and live my life as this like individual soul who's going to live this certain life and pathway and carve it in such a way. But I can't spoil things for myself by like, you know, solving the problem for you, right? My dad was a professor in computer science, and when I was in school, when I would ask him for help with like my math homework, he did a wonderful job of explaining math in such a way that I could get it. Because I am not like my sister and my dad. I'm so much more emotional than they are. I've had to learn how to like modulate it so that I don't hurt people when I go through like fits of just like rage or like extreme sadness or just like these ranges that can happen, right? And I think it's for us to develop ways or exercises in our own life that we can take that energy and use it for good, right? For more positive things, right? I try to like write poetry or like I listen to music and create dances from it, like Rihanna's Diamond. Oh my gosh, that song like made me cry. I made a dance to it. Like, what is the lyric? Let me see if I can remember it. Palms rise to the universe as we, Moonshine and Molly, will never die. We're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star I see, a vision of ecstasy. Anyways. We're just, we're like diamonds in the sky. So I'm not a singer. Like, although my Auntie Maris was telling me when I was back home for Christmas that my grandfather, who passed away in 2003, I believe, quite a while now, but my grandpa George, he was a principal in South Africa, like a teacher, right? But I didn't know that he also was like a singer, right? And like my family on that side is very musical. Like they'd play instruments and sing, and he had a wonderful like baritone voice in church and like gospel music. If we think about like Elvis, how he got his start, those hymns, regardless of not if you're religious or not, they do speak to certain frequencies and vibrations where like there was like a hymn when I was back home in Winnipeg where they talked about Gitche Manitou and like the spirit of like the earth. And I was just like, in church? I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, there's like this interesting understanding of like, we can infuse these different understandings of what it means to, like, religion strives to do what it is that, is our birthright. It's like a coming to awareness of how special you are to the universe and like becoming who you are. And who you are typically is not something that the status quo or like the powers that aren't or like the bad guys would want you to be, because typically those kinds of things. Yeah. Ever go to Adobe Max? Yes. Yes. I love the movies, you guys. I love like all of that stuff, like the show, right? Show business, right? I love just every movie and the ability for people to share their world with each other in a way that's so much more fun than just like, oh, let's have a therapy session. And I think therapy has its place because oftentimes we do just need to talk our problems out, right? Or just like get it out there. And so it's not just like sitting in your head. So a lot of like journaling helps for that. Or for me, dance. Dance is poetry in motion, right? This concept of like the song has a story in it, right? I have cried along to so many songs, right? Unbreak My Heart by Toni Braxton. What's that other song I was listening to the other day? Dreaming of You by Selena. There's another one. Black Velvet by Alana Miles I was listening to the other day. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's so good. I love that like bass in it. So for me, music has been so healing when it comes to things like if anything feels too painful, I just get lost in the music, right? And the song, and let that be a way for me to release things, right? And then just like, listen in my headphones and just cry, right? Or like good sound system. My hubby will play certain music for me when he knows I'm feeling a certain way, or like when we do our live sets. I tell people, when he's playing the music, typically he's playing it for me, right? And I get it. You're playing for your audience too as well when you're an artist, but there is a dance and I think balance of the artist doing what they need to do in their heart, right? And then also being aware of like who's receiving it, right? Just like no different than communication. And that's why, what is a quantum playground? Ooh, Diddy, good question. So think about your imagination realm and how we're all connected, right? The concept of like, is Superman real? Yes or no? No, no, he's not, right? Because we don't see him, right? But we all know about Superman. I can talk about Superman. You already know about Krypton and Supergirl and Crypto and all these stories and the movies and Christopher Reeves. There's all this stuff packed into that mythological figure now, right? And that is real on a level. So when we think about things quantumly, we're talking about things that are connected on that realm, right? Things in like magic, science, synthesization. That's what I kind of call it. It's not like these things fight against each other, the mystic and the scientific. They can work with each other, right? Prove each other, push each other to be better. Instead of it being like a fight, we can just use each of everyone's different skill sets and way of looking at things, right? For example, my dad, brilliant in computer science. We had an issue with our fridge because my dad loves to hold on to things till like the very end. If things are still working, he'll keep it and you just keep repairing it and keep repairing it, and it's just old. So anyways, we had an old fridge in the kitchen. It didn't quite like close right. And he had this like note on the fridge being like, make sure you like really push the door, make it sure it's closed. So I'm like, okay, cool. But this time the fridge just wouldn't do it, and it looked like it was kind of off kilter. I was talking to my Uncle John about this, and like, it looks like the door is like off, right? And he's like, yeah, I think like it's not sticking now because it's like off of alignment. And so that's his more engineering fixing mindset versus my dad being like, well, still works, like it closes, right? But like he's more software engineering, right? So it's just funny. So I think once when my dad and me were like off at the gym, he fixed the door without my dad like knowing, and then it like closed proper. I was like, wow, you fixed it. And then like John told my dad, and he's like, oh, I didn't know it needed to be fixed. So it's just funny. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. New heaven, new earth. The end is nigh. Sir, updates on the Red Skies crisis? Justice League data has been confirmed by independent science reports from the UHC. The latest disturbances have been traced to a graviton. What is that? Impact? Gravitons are. I actually do know what they are and what it means, Courtney. Thank you. Thank you all. Now, if you'll excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, my dinner with the Atlantean Foreign Secretary starts at 6 p.m. I'd appreciate some time alone. Brainiac, Withlow Prime. I heard it. So, affirmative. Megasonic alarm recorded at 4:45 p.m. Sorry. So, grounding you guys in this universe, New Heaven, New Earth, this Superman is from Multiversity. And you'll see. He's cool. He's like the leader of like I think Justice League Incarnate. Oh, thanks, Aaron. Thank you. I appreciate you guys, right? Welcome to the live. I hope you're all doing beautifully. I wanted to read you guys more Final Crisis. I'm not going to be on too late because I need to like catch up on some sleeps as well as on a lot of writing for myself. So speaking of which, I'm only going to probably read a couple more panels and then we'll leave off from there. I'm going to have a lot more posted in terms of like the schedule and all that kind of stuff going forward. Okay? All right. Here we go. That music, great Krypton Nubia, the entire universe is shaking. The Wonder Woman of Amazonia bring only anti-war technology to the world. But the Wonder Horn was a gift from the Universals in a mythic time before time, to be used only once when all else has failed. Whatever it is, something is responding. What is that music? Like I've known it all my life. So sad, so hopeful, so brave. The music of the spheres, the sound of the tides of the infinite breaking on our mortal strand, and bearing a vessel, surging on a foam of gravitons like some new Arso. The cargo, wait, let's see here. It's cargo, not gods, not monsters, but heroes. So if you guys are not familiar with this little spaceship here, if you have been around, oh, thank you, for Multiversity. It's kind of funny how I'm holding it upside down. But in this, the way they travel from like different world to world, right? Like Earth 1 to Earth like 8 to Earth 22 and that kind of stuff, is they have a ship of frozen music. So the way you go from like place to place is that you play the right tune, the right harmonic, and that's like, you know, music literally has keys in it. So it's like a key to that universe, and you have to be tuned exactly right to have the ship work. So I think the Superman is remembering the time before time. So that kind of thing. And bearing a vessel, surging on a foam of gravitons like some new Argo. It's cargo, not gods, not monsters, but heroes. Heroes? I don't believe this. A whole multiverse and they all look like you guys. So this guy looks like a question going through the portal and like looking at Superman and Wonder Woman of this world, and they just look at each other kind of like, okay, I get it. And so then we have Shazam and the rest of the team pop through the portal and make their announcement. Minus the swearing, my name is Captain Marvel. We're here to recruit the Superman of all the multiverses on a life or death mission of cosmic proportions. I enjoy swearing when I feel like the situation demands it. The question. Global Peace Agent. Ooh. The Watchtower. When space-time folded down, this was everything we could salvage. Beyond these walls, there's nothing left that isn't the forever pit Darkseid dragged us all into. A crumbling shard from a parallel universe collided with us this morning. If the unending darkness can be called morning anymore. This one brought the metal men from Earth 44 and their human leader, Doc Tornado. Oof. When our magnetic field bent them berserk, they attempted to commit technocide, and the trophy room was wrecked. Irreplaceable mementos were lost forever. So we assembled what remained and loaded it into this rocket. My name is Lois Lane. The final edition of the Daily Planet rolled off the presses today. The story of the death of Batman and what we stood for. Of how we fought for what we believed in until the very end. I wrote the last story. Jimmy Olsen took the pictures. It's the story of the people we loved, of how he, just a man, had fatally wounded the god of evil. Call it a message in a bottle. Maybe someone, somewhere, will find it and read the story of the final crisis. Darkseid, says Superman, like emerging from like red flames behind him, right? You turned your back and I wrecked your world. I robbed your people of their powers, their hopes, their future, themselves. What will you do when your friends, your enemies, your lover are all Darkseid? When there is one body, one mind, one will, one life that is Darkseid, you will be the enemy of all existence then. What irony will that be, son of Krypton? Ha ha ha. Evil laughter. There we go. From Darkseid, threatening, basically. So, if you guys aren't familiar with, I'm going to have a reading of earlier parts of this story on my YouTube later on this week. But to get you guys up to speed in terms of this story, Darkseid has basically gotten a hold of something called the anti-life equation. And he's been basically using like media, multimedia, radio signals to push out bad frequencies like depression and like maliciousness and greediness and bad stuff in the airwaves, right? And so it's made everybody like zombies, like become like Darkseid. So that's what he means by like everyone's been kind of like taken over. And I think I read you guys last time the Flash, you know, kissing Iris and like pulling her back from the anti-life equation, like snapping her out of that frequency. So that's what like Darkseid's talking about when he's saying like, aha, it'll all be Darkseid. So, you know, and you Stitch Cyborg it. I can store all that kind of stuff right here, you know? And all those connections, you guys, like, it's so crazy. Like, I catch them all. And it's so, like, fun for me. Like, it's like a little puzzle of how all these writers, and I follow each of those writers through things, right? Like, even when I went to the bookstore, which is funny because in Winnipeg, I went to the mall and the bookstore there, and I was telling my hubby that it was kind of like, you know, yes, I wanted to go to the bookstore and pick up a comic book, which I picked up the Phoenix Comics Cosmic Ascent. But I also needed like some time away from my family to like score some weed. So I was like, because they don't know that I smoke, and I just use that like it's just like my me thing. It's just a way of like your own ways of like dealing with certain anxieties, right? So I was trying to like get time to myself to do this, and then I couldn't find where this store was in the mall, which I finally did, like texting. Anyways, but I, my dad was asking me, he's like, what did you get from the bookstore again? I'm like, oh, I got a comic book, a graphic novel. And he's like, oh, I didn't know you read those. And I'm like, of course I do. And he's like, I used to read those. And I was like, I didn't know that you read comic books, Dad. So I gifted him a Supergirl comic book for Christmas, alongst with like math socks, you know, about my own way of dealing with anger. Yeah. And I think that's important for you guys, like for us to all develop healthy practices, right? Because regardless of whatever hurt we have gone through, like we don't deserve to hurt other people, even though we're going through something. It's just like you have like the space to kind of like have ways of dealing with it, because it can all like cascade that energy, right? So, all right. So Darkseid's like laughing, his evil, maniacal, evil guy laugh as they do, right? Monster, what have you done? Kill me, Superman. Kill the frail old man upon whose soul Darkseid fed and fattened. How can you hurt a foe made of people? It's kind of like Pennywise and like It and stuff, right? Like how he's not the clown, right? It's like that evil essence that's like powering the clown. He like took over that body and like used it for himself. So Darkseid's like, haha, if you just kill this body, like that's not who Darkseid is. I'm like just like a frequency. I'm like evil itself, right? Hi Remy, welcome to the live. It's Kara here. Kara Zor-El, last daughter of Krypton. I'm just reading you guys some Final Crisis. I want to get to a certain point where there's like some hope there, you guys, because I just want to like seed some good stories out there, because it seems all dark here and things are bad, but you know, there is hope, right? And Lois Lane said herself, like this little message in the bottle, and she hopes that people hear this story of a final crisis, right? So your story is not in vain. So monster, what have you done? Yeah, how can you hurt a foe made of people? I recognize your DNA. Turpin? Dan Turpin. Of all the people you could have chosen, Batman, he would have resisted longer than I wished. Well, yeah, because Batman's very, like, mentally resilient to even Darkseid's manipulations, right? Turpin struggled just enough to nurture me before his surrender. Kill him, then. Oh, kill me and you kill everything. It is already over. The sun has set forever. There is a black hole where my heart should be. Now, Superman, are you ready to join Batman in oblivion? Can you outrace the Omega sanction? Maybe I won't have to. You didn't get all of us, Darkseid, and it's not over yet. And then it seemed as if the sun had risen in the west, as if the dawn was made of lightning, and the approaching thunder became the roar of a gunshot yet to be. We're approaching with a never-ending instant, the ultimate stop sign. Can't let 'em catch us yet. And we have Wally and Barry, our two flashes, running through time-space, right? From here, where does he no longer exist? Orion cannot see me. As all time becomes one time, the time has come to strike. Take aim. Only we can divert those, Omega Finder beams. At light speed time stops death too. Flash fact. Don't you see? This was never about my life, Wally. I came back to save Superman. We did it, Wally. Now go. Thanks, and leave this to do this on your own. We do this together, Barry. We are going into this together and we're coming back together. It's hard to read that because it's all like smushed together. Kind of crazy in comic books how they show that. And then as they race past, remember I told you guys, Barry Allen dies in Crisis. So they run past Superman and he just says, Barry Allen? And then the terminal moment is here. No, not you. I came to all, even you. This is the story of how the Flashes outran death, the Black Racer. On Sea Storm, the story of Arthur of Atlantis prophesies to return in his people's time of greatest need. This is the story of the last superheroes. So, what is it? What are they building? Some kind of omni-computer, something that can calculate the life equation. A super communications device like a cell phone to the gods, I heard. Supergirl thinks Superman found a way to shrink and bottle the whole universe for protection. Well, apparently it's a weapon, the weapon. In Superman we trust. A will-powered machine that makes a Green Lantern powering tech look like a slideshow projector. If my ring can help, well, here it is, says Jon Stewart. El va a el tiempo estos lo... I cannot read that other language, but it seems like it's Spanish. And then outrageous. Too bad we're only permitted to work on sections, Savannah. This looks to me like something capable of rewriting the laws of physics. This is how Checkmate went down fighting. Professor Palmer, the nano beacon's in place, but the tunnel between universes can't take these stresses. I can't take these stresses. The Black Gambit is... Zambit? I don't know what that says there. The Black Zambit is failing. Interbrain escape tunnel integrity is failing. Emergency shutdown in progress. Cool, Ollie, I think we did it. Look, Ollie, Ray made it. He did it. We rule. Let me show you what money unleashed can do. The tunnel is collapsing. Everybody out now. Lolita Canary, only I can save her. Get the hell out of there. This is the story of all our stories. And this is how it ends. Oh my gosh. You guys, look at this panel. We have like Supergirl telling like a story to the little ones, right? Just like how I'm telling a story to you guys, right? And this is how it ends. Imagine two whole universes shearing apart as the lifeline connecting them was snapped. Lord's Eye having a breakdown and closing the tunnel. These people will die if I don't stop him, Kendra. Damn you, Carter. You can't do this alone. I got her. I got her. Where are you, Lightning Flash? Everything is splitting up. Sonic Lightning Flash. I love you. But I love you. Catch her. I can't seem to run fast enough. How did it get so cold? Where are my Omacs? And how the hell did we get here? Where are we? So you can see all of this on the different universes all at the same time. There's like chaos. Well, I mean, it is Final Crisis, so there's crisis on all of the different Earths. So really, let me just see if I can skip to a certain point. Oh, this looks cool, right? This kind of panel, right? Love it. All the soups coming in, right? Ready, gentlemen? And then like evil Superman here, you can see him. Let me kill them all, master. She can wait. And let the sun shine in. So like, you know, Supergirl's been captured by like evil Superman. And so it's like, she can wait, blah, blah, blah. You have all these guys to deal with. Oh, thank you. I arrived just in time to join the last stand of these incredible creatures. Superman, your signal has been received and understood. This is between monitors now. And I saw them in the glory Metron had seen. It's funny, I accidentally said Metron. Mandrak! At my right hand stands Superman himself. At his side, some exiled Earth 26 super animals you overlooked. Behind me, the vengeful angels of the Pax Descend, the army of God. And the Supermen of a multiverse, a team of solar-powered heroes so incredible it can be assembled only once against the absolute enemy. So, turn back. Crawl home to your tomb with your carry-on shadows. Dawn is on its way. Utoan? Nix Utoan? My son? Who else? You killed my mother, Zillow Vala. But you made me to save the world from you. With the last word, Taru, I summon the forever people of the fifth world from Earth 51 exile. There is no limit to what I can do. Wow. The Statue of Liberty submerged. How the... Contamination. Black matter demons will devour the last traces of the story. My army of shadows. Now I get it. Who's with me? Super young team. You run at him screaming. No, Tanja's like in Constance like, oh, well, just wake me when this is all done and we can like reboot it from like the outer realm area, right? Superman, kill you. I kill you. What? You remind me of an old friend, that's all. Matter meets antimatter. Kill you. Try Sunny's sumo fist. Kill. Oh, it has to end. You're outnumbered. Darkness must fall in the end. You think, but still, the chant grows stronger, can you hear? Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lanterns light. Oh, the ultimate backup, the Green Lanterns. I had a few missions today. Great question, Gwen Stacy. And so hard to do when you're trying to manage emotions and stuff, right? Trying to do your thing. Supergirl stuff. But we have this lovely panel. I'm going to give it a little close up. And then I'm going to stop, right? And have my own beauty sleep so that I can be right as rain tomorrow for some errands that I need to run. So, Green Lantern's light. I saw the Book of Limbo. I saw it all. Rings can't handle this, Jordan. We're all out of juice just getting here. Wherever here is. Guys, right? Our 24 hours are up, Hal. So let's hear it one last effort, team. One thought, all together. The end was all flames and shadows. And spike this vampire. Darkness must fall. Oh, yeah, you got that great. I know, like the ultimate backup, right? The Green Lanterns. And like as one thought, spike them. Done. You got that right. This multiverse has natural defenses none of you could have imagined. Don't push your luck with the judge of all evil. We lived through Ragnarok and fought a god. We survived the bite of a cosmic parasite. We lost good friends and saw what the worst of us could do if we let it loose. And we saw the best, too. This world, these amazing people, have faced alien invasions, natural disasters, quakes in time. And always we recover, we rebuild, we continue. Earth endures. It's as if we don't know what else to do. The damage caused to the Ori of Worlds by Darkseid's fall is under repair. As it ever done, so shall it be done again, with apologies to Monitor Nix Utoan. We must also discuss replacements for Zilovala and Rox Ogama. Earth designates 43 and 31 are currently unmonitored. The germ creatures themselves reestablish the symmetry of the Ori, the multiverse, as they call it. I've never witnessed such industry, such intelligence, and the white-hot passions that drive them. Passions powerful enough to trigger catastrophic changes in beings made of pure thought, like us. For this reason, I advise immediate withdrawal of contact with the germ worlds and no further exploitation. Your concerns are noted. Please continue with your report, sparing no details. Well, now we know why there's a black hole at the base of creation. It's where Darkseid fell through the existence to his doom, leaving hell deserted. And there, in his absence, the first flower grew. And so begins the myth of a new creation. Apocalypse reborn as New Genesis. The new gods return to guide the destiny of a new world. And here, the plan I used to reconstruct Earth designate 51 destroyed by, Osanai's treachery? I saw the world remade with my own eyes, with pieces of other times, other places, all in a vision that came to me in Command D. Designate 51 lives in you. Repairs were accomplished, time anomalies corrected, coherence and harmony restored. This all but concludes my report as I prepare to return to my duties. Our story has become toxic, out of control. We must end it. Forgive Monitor Tahoe his encroaching senility. Your exile is over, Uatan. You're invited to rejoin the circle of monitors with full honors. Prime Monitor Hermits, if I may decline such honors are essentially meaningless. There are more critical matters to attend to. We almost destroyed this beautiful living thing in our midst. The multiverse of life deserves its freedom from our interference. Make your peace. All the lovely clockwork is erased from the sky. The searing emptiness of the overvoid dreams ever closer. The hour grows late, Nix Utoan. They couldn't make me forget you. You brought me back, Ouija Dell. You were my dream girl from a world I thought I could never reach. You sound different. I lived among them. I saw the damage we were doing to them and what we'd have to sacrifice to save them. I won't forget you. Then this really is the last day. I think so. The final crisis is ours, we Jadal. It was good to have a face and to love and be loved. Tell me one last thing before we part, Nixutoan. What was Superman's wish on the miracle machine? Oh, he's Superman. He wished only for the best for all of us. Now, close your eyes. He wished for a happy ending, Weejadel. So I'm going to end it there. So to all your happy endings or new beginnings or wherever you are in your journey of this cosmic game of life, I hope that you have good fortune and all the help and support you need in doing what you need to do. Okay, guys, that is it for this live. I will see you all very, very soon as Kara Zor-El, the last daughter of Krypton. Thanks, Danny Money Man. Have a great night. I have some dragon eggs, a lot of stuff that I've been doing art-wise in the back end, but I've been having to take care of myself, like rest and recoup, including, getting enough sleep. So thanks you guys for joining me for this live as Supergirl. Until next time, remember, it takes true courage for you to play as exactly you in this cosmic game of life. So be sure to play as you, because guess what? The universe is counting on you, but I do have your back. All right, guys, to all my superhero friends, until next time, stay super, stay strong.